Thank you. We saved the handsomest for last, right?
I'm all wired up here. I don't know if I can sit. Should have tried sitting first.
And we'll ding the bell at 5 minutes left.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello? I'm Daniel Scranton. So when I start channeling, the tones that come through me, those are channeled. So it's not that I'm toning so that I can reach the creators. I'm going to channel the creators for you. It's that's their way of recalibrating my energy, your energy, getting us all on the same wavelength. Also, there's going to be a lot of movement, okay? So the movement just happens, and this will happen. It's somebody asked Wendy's Pleiadians about that, and it's just something that happens whenever energy's moving through me. My body moves a lot, so. I'm sorry if it's a distraction. You can close your eyes if it is. And let's get started. Okay. Yes. 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 We are here for you. Yes. We are the the creators. We are a 12th dimensional collective of non-physical beings. You'll experience us as pure consciousness. We are delighted to be a part of this gathering and to share with you our perspective. We are creators. We own that. We are universal architects. We had a hand in the creation of this universe, but we did not do it alone. In fact, all of us co-created this universe together because it took all of our collective energy to make all of this happen. And the creation of this universe is not complete. We are still co-creating this universe through our experiences together. Together, we co-created the universe, and together we continue to co-create this universe. Now, the important thing to keep in mind about the co-creation of this universe is the fact that just because you create something does not necessarily mean that you're going to experience it. You see, what you are here to do, what we are all here to do, is to decide what it is we want to experience. So we are co-creating the experiences that we want to co-create together. And sometimes we experience things we do not want to co-create together. So what is the difference then between co-creating something magical and marvelous and magnificent and something tragic and traumatic? The difference is focus. You want to focus upon the experiences that you want to create and co-create with others. And as you focus, you vibrate. So if you want to focus yourself into something, you want to put your attention on it, you are going to then find you and the thing that you're focusing on harmonizing vibrationally, putting yourself in sync with that which you want to experience, and then you find yourself experiencing it. It becomes such a natural evolution of what you began creating with that initial focus that sometimes you don't even realize, you don't even recognize the enormity of what you have done because you've spent so much of your time focusing upon it, vibrating with it, and then all of a sudden it just pops up and says, here I am, and it seems very, very natural that it would be there with you at that time, and then you're on to your next creation. So you don't often spend enough time celebrating the creations that you have experienced, the ones you've manifested. You don't spend a lot of time patting yourselves on the back and saying, well done with that creation, because again, it seems so natural and organic that you would be living what you've been focusing upon and therefore vibrating in harmony with, and so then you just move on to the next creation that you want to experience, you see. So, oftentimes you will create something like a vision board, or you will come up with mantras, or you will come up with some other type of trick to get you to focus on that which you want to not only create but also experience. But it's one thing to say something, it's one thing to look at something and say, yes, I'm focusing on abundance, I'm focusing on the thing that I want, the relationship, the health, the travel, all of the fun metaphysical experiences. I'm focusing. But you need to check in with yourself to make sure that your focus is coming from a place of equality with that which you are focusing upon, so that you do not think that you are somehow down here and what you're focusing upon is up here, and therefore you're reaching and struggling and striving just to maintain a focus, just to maintain a sense of equality with that which you are focusing upon. Instead, you want to see that which you are focusing upon as you. It's an aspect of you. It's a vibration that already exists inside of you. So these things that you want to experience that are out there somewhere, they are activating something within you. They're activating a desire for you to be more of you, for you to be more whole. And so, it is necessary for you to see that which you are focusing upon as a part of yourself that is being activated by it, and that you can find within yourself and harmonize with. So you do still get to have the fun physical experience of that which you are creating out there. Once you recognize that it's also within you as a potential, as a vibration, you still get to experience it in the external physical realm, but it is important for you to recognize.
Do you have information?
That
because maybe
something out there, some experience, some person, some job, whatever it is, it's not completing you. It's just reflecting back to you something that has been inside of you, but has perhaps been dormant for a while, hasn't been fully actualized, fully realized, fully acknowledged by you. So once you can acknowledge yourselves, acknowledge the beautiful, whole, and complete beings that you are, then you can have more fun in the external world. You can have more fun with this beautiful universe that we all co-created. You can pick out the parts of the universe that you want to explore and play in. And you can take yourselves wherever you want to go. But it's when you face this universe, when you see this universe as so much bigger than you, so much better than you, so much more vast and magnificent than you, that you feel small and incomplete, and then you're looking for those things outside of you to give you that sense of completion. Because what really is happening here in the co-creation of the universe is that we are all creating ourselves. We are all creating ourselves as whole and complete beings who recognize ourselves and each other as source energy beings. And when that happens, when you can play on your playground and let everyone else play on their playground, and do so knowing that you are all source energy beings, then you have a harmonious and peaceful planet, a harmonious and peaceful solar system and galaxy and universe. And imagine how much fun we can all have in this universe when we are all acknowledging ourselves and everyone else as source energy beings and utilizing the abilities that we have to focus, to create, to vibrate, and to harmonize with the experiences that we want to have. Then you really do have a universe that is operating in harmony with itself. Then you have a universe that is a true reflection of source energy. Source energy being all that is, but in all that is balanced, that is in harmony with itself. Source energy doesn't ever get up and look at itself in the mirror and think, I'm having a bad hair day. What are these love handles all about? You see? So source energy is in love with itself, in love with every part of itself. And when all of us, all of the ones who comprise this universe are in love with ourselves, which is what that beautiful exercise with Aishua was all about. You see, perfect lead-in to this conversation about loving each other, loving ourselves, recognizing that we are all love, that we are all whole and complete beings. And that is how we get to the universe that we together decided we wanted to co-create and inhabit. And everything that is a step along the way of that journey can be fun, can be an adventure, can be a way of demonstrating to ourselves how powerful, how strong, and how beautiful we all are. All right, let's have some questions now.
Hello, creators.
Yeah.
My question is about water.
Yes.
And for example, last week I was in my bathtub covered with water, and I opened my window and I could hear the river outside, I could hear the rain pouring down, and I love the sounds that the water makes when it interacts. And then I was splashing my hand against the water, and even when I'm out for a walk and hear a tinkle of a brook or a waterfall, I think of beings, like I'm aware of there are beings there that perhaps they thrive on the water energy, or perhaps I'm just feeling them, but I'd like to know what it is I'm feeling. I feel entities around water when I'm with water.
Yes, it's life-affirming water. It is the thing that scientists look for when they're looking for evidence that life does exist or could exist in other parts of the solar system and the galaxy. So water really is life. It represents life. It activates within you more of the living tissue of your physical body. It gives you life. It is necessary for life. And so when you are connecting to it, you are also recognizing that you are in those moments in the flow. So as you focus on a sound that is pleasant to you, when you focus on an experience like taking a bath that is pleasant to you, you are in the flow. You are in the flow, and when you are in the flow, you are connected. You are feeling that connection that is always there. Of course, the connection is always there between you and us and every other being, extraterrestrial, physical, non-physical, doesn't matter. You're always connected. But there are times when you're more aware of that connection. Just like there would be a time when you'd be more aware of your guides that are always with you. They're never taking a vacation. They're always there with you, but there are times when you're more aware of them. So these are the times when you are more aware of your connection and the presence of other beings, which are always with you. So our recommendation to you is to utilize this knowledge that you now have of the power of water in your life, the power of water over you, to feel more in the flow, to feel more connected, and to affirm the life within you, the life all around you, and of course, the life that you have yet to discover.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
I wanted to ask you about the difference between creating and kind of following the divine flow, listening to reality.
Yes. So that is what we were talking about when we said, you've already created it. We've already created it. We've co-created so much already. We're constantly creating. And there's also this going with the flow, being in the flow, following the guidance, following the synchronicities, following the heart energy, the excitement, the bliss, everything that you've ever heard, every nice bumper sticker you've ever seen that aligns you with that larger perspective. So you have a perspective, let us say as an ego, you have a perspective, and we know this is a big one, where you say, I want to win the lottery. And so you want to create that experience for yourself. And many people want this. And so you focus upon it, and you attempt to harmonize with it vibrationally. But at the same time, you recognize that that experience may not be the ideal experience for your spiritual growth right now. So instead of gritting your teeth and clenching your fists and watching for the numbers every night and hanging all of your hopes on that, you would say, well, I've created it, but I've also let it go. It's now something that's out there that I can experience at any time, but instead of making it my life's mission to win the lottery, I'm going to go with the flow. I'm going to see where the energy takes me, where the energy is guiding me, nudging me, and follow those impulses and instincts. Follow your intuition. And that's what being in the flow with Source is about, and letting Source work through you, letting you and the universe co-conspire to create the best possible experiences for you, which sometimes include a delaying of the gratification of something that you once created in a moment, but didn't experience right away. You see, that's one of the beauties that you have of the time lag that you still experience as fourth dimensional beings. You still get to experience anticipation. You still get to experience hope. And those are beautiful experiences to have. Of course, you also get to experience angst and disappointment and impatience and things like that. But there's nothing wrong with those experiences as long as you accept them as they are. So listening to the guidance that comes from within you, feeling your feelings, feeling drawn to certain people, certain events and circumstances, this is going with the flow of Source, and this is what it is always in your best interest to do, even if at times you have a desire that you want to create something, but you understand that that creation may not serve your greatest and highest good in the moment. So you just create it, you focus on it for as much as it feels comfortable for you to focus on it, as much as you enjoy focusing on it, and then you let it go. So you have to be aware of when something is becoming an obsession and when something is becoming something is actually in the flow. So those are the two awarenesses that you want when it comes to your creations and what you actually experience. You see?
I'm just going to add one thing to that, if you don't mind.
Yes.
If you were in this reality and you realize that you were kind of in the obsession part and you were going against your flow and not understanding why something manifested, is there kind of one phrase or mantra that you would remind yourself?
In divine perfect timing.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
I live here in Los Angeles, but I'm also very drawn to the island of Kauai constantly. When I'm there, I get nurtured by the nature of the island, but then I come home because my family is here. But when I'm here, I want to be back in Kauai, so I'm drawn in these two places. And I'm trying to handle it the best way I can, but sometimes it just gets out of control. Do you have any advice?
In divine perfect timing. So, interestingly enough, our channel once lived in Los Angeles and eventually made his way to living in Hawaii. But it took him 15 years from the time of the original desire being born within him to move to Hawaii. And so there are, of course, balances that you seek to strike in your life. And if your balance right now that you're seeking to strike is between time on the mainland and time on Kauai, then that's what you're creating for yourself right now, is you're creating the experience of being at peace with the time that you're not there, anticipating the time that you are going to be there, and doing the best that you can to create the wonderful experiences that you want to have while still on the mainland. In other words, you don't want to think in terms of, well, I'm really living my life when I'm on Kauai, and when I'm in LA, I'm just at a way station and I'm just counting the days and the minutes until I can get back. In other words, you find the balance of those two experiences for yourself so that you're enjoying both. You're enjoying the fact that when you're in Los Angeles, you have more options, more things to do, more restaurants, more people. When you're in Kauai, you have more green things, more water, more nature, more solitude experience, more peace and quiet. And so you enjoy striking the balance for now, but then you also recognize that when it serves you and your highest good to live full time on Kauai, you will find yourself there. Again, in the meantime, you don't have to think of life in Los Angeles as suffering, because it doesn't have to be, but you acknowledge that there are things about Los Angeles that you like, and things about Kauai that you like, and of course, you make peace with wherever you are. So that's the first thing you must do with the situation you are in, is to make peace and accept, and of course, continue to focus on what you want, but in divine timing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi there.
Hello.
My question is around cosmic laws, the laws of karma, reciprocity, and attraction. And there is a lot of information that can be tapped from a human level, given enough meditation and centeredness, and there is information that comes from different beings, such as yourself and others, to the human plane.
Yes.
And sometimes this information can be misused or distorted, and there's great karmic consequences to that from all planes and all beings, myself and you. So I would like to know, how do you assess the karmic consequences of the information that you share, or in a more generalistic perspective of the information that comes from different beings and how they can sometimes be misused or actually generate negative karma spirals as opposed to the good that they were intended to create?
Yes. Well, everything is as it is, and everyone gets to make of it what they make of it. And of course, there is distortion, there is fanaticism, there are ways of interpreting things that will be only for each individual. Each individual will have their own interpretation of everything that comes through every teacher and every channel and every book. Look at the Bible, for example. Look at how many different ways you could interpret that and twist it into fitting your own prejudices, or you could also use it and only focus on the passages that are life-affirming and granting humanity a sense of divinity. So it is up to the individual, and it has more to do with the individual and what they do with information that then creates their own karmic journey and their own karmic relationship with the information and with the other people that are affected by whatever it is they're doing with that information. Now, as far as we are concerned, we would notice if someone was taking information and twisting it and using it to harm others. And we would make corrections in the way that the information was disseminated. However, keep in mind also that what is of most value, what is mostly important in any transmission, any teaching, anything that you come across that is quote unquote spiritual, is not the actual words or the ideas. It is not the mantras. It's not as powerful as you think it is. What is actually said or written. What is most powerful is the energy that is transmitted during a channeling. Whether it's writing, whether someone has channeled some writing, as in the Conversations with God books, those were channeled writings. There's power in those pages that goes beyond the words that were written, because the energy was infused into the books. There's energy being transmitted through each and every one of the channels that have sat in this chair today, and it is up to every individual in the room to decide how much of that energy they're actually going to receive and then assimilate. How much are you going to allow yourselves to be activated by the energy that is coming through right now? Or are you instead focusing on something in your mind, or focusing on something that was said and not getting the full experience here, getting all of the love and light that's being transmitted? So that's the important thing here. It's not our teachings, it's not anyone's teachings that are the most important nugget that we want you all to take away from this. So, for example, let's say that you all sitting there in your chairs right now would close your eyes, uncross legs, arms, anything that's crossed, and face your palms up, whether you have your hands on your thighs, or whether you want to raise your arms up with the palms facing up, and you just say to yourselves, say inside your heads, that you are open, you are ready, and you are willing to receive all of the love and the light that is being transmitted right now. And feel what that feels like. Feel how much is available to you right now. That's the important thing about what you want to take away from these types of experiences. So we hope that answers your question.
Yes, it's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
So I work with a business coach, and it's always a delicate balance between being really action-oriented, and it was similar to the second question, being in the flow. And she gave me some feedback a couple weeks ago that she has observed after working together these last 3 years, that it's like if life is a Red Rover game, if I get to the end where the other people are holding their arms and there's any resistance, I'll give up. And it really struck a chord for me. And so my question is about the balance between, reconnecting with my feminine and going inside again and taking myself out of the game. And I feel like it has held me back from maybe having more breakthrough moments or having things be easier because I check out. And ironically, the tool I use to do that so frequently is metaphysical. Like, I'd rather have a cool conversation than be in the game. So I want to know what you think about that.
Yes. Well, what you are talking about here are merging the worlds of the third dimension and the fifth dimension. You're talking about taking what is and has been traditionally the more masculine energy of action and merging it with the divine feminine energy of receiving, of relaxing, of being open and being balanced and letting go of that resistance so that you can let in that which you've created, that which you've asked for. And so you're seeking to strike a balance in the same way that our friend is seeking a balance between Los Angeles and Kauai. And so it's about being honest with yourself about what feels right for you in the moment. Now, it doesn't mean that when you choose meditation or you choose a metaphysical conversation that you've given up on action forevermore, that now you're just going to become a very lazy person who sits around eating grapes and getting fanned by people so that you never have to lift a finger ever again. You're not becoming one of those people, but at times, of course, fear of sloth can creep in, fear that you're just not going to ever take appropriate action or inspired action again. That can creep in, and someone like, let's say, for example, a business coach could come along and reflect that fear to you. That says, well, you're not pushing beyond the resistance. You're not pushing yourself to go the extra mile. And we say, well, you'll do it when you feel inspired to and when the timing is right, but you know yourself better than your coach knows you, because you're the one who feels what you feel. You feel what's going on inside of you, and you know what you feel inspired to do and what you don't feel inspired to do. And you have to listen to that. You have to be true to yourself if you're going to be a divine, integrated in the masculine and feminine energies being. If you're going to be a whole being, you have to listen to yourself and not worry about going off the deep end and not allowing any sort of action or appropriate action to be taken. We know that you are a responsible person, that you are going to take the effective action when it is necessary. And we also know that so much more is accomplished in the exercising or the activating of the divine feminine than most people realize. Because if you're taking an action, if you're picking up a brick and moving it from one place to another, that's identifiable, and people can say, look, she moved all those bricks today. All those bricks that were over there are now over there. But when you're in your divine feminine and you're receiving, people don't point at you and say, look at what she did today. And so that's the part that you need to make peace with, is that there's not that identifiable pile of bricks for you, but you have to understand that there is strength and power in the divine feminine, and that it's not a sign of weakness or laziness to be in that state. It's a sign that you know how strong you are, that you know how powerful you are. Oftentimes, action is taken to compensate for a sense of lack of power or strength, because the person says, well, I'm not feeling what I want to be feeling. I'm not feeling the energy flowing through me, the strength and the power that I want to feel, so I'll just take these actions. And these actions will give me that sense that I want to experience. So you see, you have to pay attention to whether you're compensating with action at times for a feeling, or whether that action is coming because you genuinely feel inspired to take it.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So the idea is when I have that awareness, I'm taking action to compensate. And usually it is that feeling of fear, like that doubt that I can't actually do it. The idea is just to sit with that feeling. What Nora was talking about, feel, observe, and then a third thing.
Yes.
Accept. How novel.
Yes, process.
Process.
Process
Okay.
what you need to process.
Yeah.
Process the fear that comes up. Process the frustration when the numbers aren't what you want them to be. Process the anger. Process whatever you need to process so that you can then get to that place where you can activate what you want to activate. Because it's always nice to know whether it's more appropriate for you to be in a state of processing or a state of creating. You don't want to start creating from that place of fear or anxiety or whatever. You don't want to start creating the relationship that you want while you're in loneliness. You want to process the loneliness. You want to process the fear. So what we mean by process is that you identify the feeling inside of you. You identify exactly where it sits within you, where you feel it, so that you can focus. And when you can focus upon what you're feeling and breathe into it, you can give it space. You can allow it to be. You can accept it for what it is and accept yourself for feeling it. Then it loses all of its power over you. You then feel more powerful than the feeling that you're processing. And then it can go along its merry way and continue to evolve as the energy that it is, and you can continue to evolve as the energy that you are. And then you can find yourself in a place where you're ready to do some creating, some activating of vibration.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I love you.
We love you.
Greetings, the creators.
Yeah.
I was wondering about the Bible, and how much of the Bible, what's your interpretation of what happened? How much of it had to do with extraterrestrials? How much of it was real? And what the relevant symbology that you would like to share is, and how it actually played out?
Yes. All right. Well, let us start here by saying that it was created by a lot of well-meaning individuals. There have been and are references in the Bible to extraterrestrial beings at times, but the Bible has been edited over time. It's been translated from one language to another and to another and to another, and it's been edited by people in positions of power that took out the parts that were empowering to the masses and left in the idea of a God that's more like a king or an emperor. So you do good, you get rewarded. You do bad, you get punished. And so it became this creation that is more of a reflection of society and the way the society has operated with beings in power, calling all the shots. It's become that reflection over time from the original intention of let's spread some information here through these texts, let's spread some ideas, unconditional love, the teachings of Jesus Christ. And again, many people have been involved in the co-creation of what you have today, and what it represents, as we say, is more of a representation of, or a reflection of, the society than the intention of the people who were wanting to spread something that was going to be beneficial to the masses, to the people who could benefit from it. And so that's why people like you and the other people in this room and people who will listen to this later, you're finding that the new information, the information that's coming through now, is more pure. It resonates more. It feels true to you because it hasn't had thousands of years to get distorted and edited and retranslated. So you can find things in the Bible and you can say, well, that's interesting, or you can say that's a part of history and I wonder how much of that is true, and you can find passages that are empowering at times. But for the most part, it's not really living in the now to access information that's thousands of years old and to try to make something of it. It's accessing the power of your own connection to source energy, accessing the power that you have by being quiet and listening and aligning your chakras and receiving and channeling and paying attention to the energy that's flowing, the intuition that you have within you. That's being in the now. That's receiving more directly, even more directly than through a channel like the one that we are utilizing right now. It's more direct to get it from within yourself. And then you have the challenge of trusting what you're getting. So you're basically asking us, well, how much can I trust this dusty old book? And it's more important for you to be asking, how much can I trust what I'm getting when I go within? When I get quiet and receive, and we say, trust it 100%. Trust what you get. Trust what you download. And maybe you don't act on it right away because you need to reassure yourself that what you're getting is true. You need to take baby steps to start to learn to walk on your own and not to rely upon teachings and texts to tell you what to do. But eventually, you will all have that direct access and that feeling that you are getting what you need directly in the moment. And that is when you will feel that feeling of being integrated, whole, and complete, and more of your divine selves.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Let's see. Back in the summer, I did a. Let me back up. I've been doing the Wim Hof method breathing for almost a year now, and at times it can be very intense, and at times it can be very mild, and there's not a consistency to it, and I sort of go with that. But I have noticed a pattern of timings, maybe around solstices and equinoxes, where it becomes more intense. And I'm wondering if that is a connection or... Okay, all right. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought. But particularly, I use it. It's funny. I use it both as a grounding method, and I also use it as a blast-off method. But during specific timings and things, it's not. I don't know. I don't. It's an unusual thing. But I guess I just wanted to throw it out there and sort of ask you guys, how does the breath work relate to the outworld energies? Is there a relationship, or how does that work?
Yes, of course. When you are having a big event like a solstice or an equinox or some other big event where you're all focused on receiving more energy, where more energy is being transmitted to you because of your focus, and you have your new year now coming up very soon for one of these points where you're focusing, where the entire world knows that this is happening. And so beings like us and beings in other dimensions will use that opportunity to send a little bit more energy to you, to give you the boost. And because when we see, as Bashar said, if they saw that humanity was going to use what they've already been given, then they'd be given more. So when you're in that state of being open and receptive, then beings like us want to give you more, we send more, and so those are some of the times when you're more open to receiving. And when you're utilizing breath work, when you're doing anything, meditation, toning, anything at all that puts you in that state of alignment, of receptivity, and of openness, then you're bound to experience more. You're bound to receive more because of what you are doing, and also you put that together with how much is being sent, the extra that you are being sent. And you add those two things together and you get a more spectacular experience than you would have, say, on a Wednesday.
Yeah, but on the Wednesdays, is it still have the same effect? If I don't have this spectacular download and
Yes.
blast off,
It has the effect that you allow it to have on any particular day. So you can always amplify the effect of whatever it is that you are doing. It really depends on you. It really depends on how much you're focusing, and it depends on how into it you are on that particular day. So Whenever you do something that you're doing habitually, there are going to be some days that you are more excited about it, more energized by the thought of doing it than others. And so you will just want to pay attention to that. Perhaps it's also important to recognize at what point on Wednesday is the best point for you to be doing the breath work, so that you take advantage of the moment, you seize that moment when you say, this feels like the moment for me to be doing it, and that's going to then maximize the effects, of course.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And and on those days it doesn't, should I just sit with that? And
if it doesn't, you're still activating something within you. You're still doing something positive for yourself. It's not a waste of your time just because you're not having a transcendent experience every time.
okay.
You see?
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm finding that I've recently gone through some upgrades, and I'm working with a collective of very powerful individuals, all with the focus of service. And we've recently designed a new program to try to teach people how to really understand where their own internal sacred geometry comes from, how to activate their Merkaba, how to align with the columns of light coming from Gaia and Source, and how to bring the creation in through the creation blueprint taught in the Tree of Life.
Yeah.
My question is, one thing that snagged at me is when people start using the system, everything accelerates for them. How responsible is it to teach the system to people who may not yet have done enough of the self-work to not break their lives quickly? Or is it my responsibility in the first place to check that? Do I trust the alignment of those who would be coming?
Yeah. You have there a question of ethics.
Yes.
It's a question that really only you can answer for yourself in terms of determining your own comfort level with working with certain individuals. If you don't really feel that those individuals are ready for the power of what you are giving them, then you will feel that. You will notice that. You will find the reluctance within you to take that person to where you know that they could potentially go. You will find that reluctance to be palpable, and you will want to put on the brakes there, so that you are taking the person forward at the speed that they are comfortable moving. And that's what you need to do. That's what you need to determine for yourself. So you need to take it on a case-by-case basis, and the more that you do it, the easier it will be for you to recognize those times when you need to pull back a bit, or you need to give that person some other tools to work with first.
Yes.
And you will get better and better at determining that and knowing what to do and what not to do as you continue on. But just know that your intentions are good. You're co-creating all of these experiences with the people. And so you have their higher selves' permission to do whatever you are going to do, and you don't have to worry about overstepping or abusing your power, because you know that you're not going to do that in this lifetime.
Right. And do you have any advice for me and my co-creators of this to help facilitate more the activation of the 5D consciousnesses?
Yes. We suggest that you have more fun with all of this, that all of you make ascension to the fifth dimension more about having fun and playing and discovering who you are and loving and being reckless and feeling yourselves expanding for the fun of it, not because you think you need to, because you need to get somewhere else to start living your lives. You need to start living your lives now and enjoying your lives now and enjoying the ascension process because it is happening and you are a part of it, and it's part of this co-creation of this beautiful universe that we all co-created together. And so co-create for yourselves the most enjoyable and beautiful and easy experience of ascension that you can, and love yourselves and each other throughout the entire process, and make the journey about the journey and not about the destination. And you will have more fun, and you will not be asking yourself, when is ascension exactly? You won't be doing that because you'll be having so much fun. You see?
And the last little thing I wanted to ask you is, I'm pretty sure that when I'm tuning in and streaming information, I'm tuning into your collective.
Yeah.
And since you've been sitting here, I'm kind of hearing what you're saying before you say it.
Yes.
And I'm noticing the difference between what you're saying and what the filter is applying. So
Yes.
I'm asking, I guess, are there steps I can take to be more clear? Because I'm hearing you super clear here. And I definitely have to get very quiet. And I know there's a group here of amazing people that's helping all of us be so tuned in. But are there things I can do on my own to gain this greater level of clarity?
Yes. So you're going to take the vibration of this now moment with you. You're going to bookmark it within yourself. You're going to note what this moment feels like right now, vibrationally, and then you're going to know that it's inside of you. It's accessible to you at all times, regardless of where you are, regardless of whether we are being channeled by this one or by someone else. And you will simply find yourself connecting directly because you have tasted our vibration and you have noticed how good we taste.
So delicious. So delicious. Thank you.
And that's all the questions we've got tonight for creators and Daniel. And thank you for being with us again. You are, besides Trebinard, if you and Daniel are the only ones who's made it to all 5 of the channel panels. So thank you.
We are the creators, and we love you all so very much.
Thanks,
everybody. Go to my website.
And what's the website there, Daniel?
DanielScranton.com.
All right.
Sign up for my newsletter.
Thank you, brother. Daniel is one of the greatest and handsomest men around, and I always love him. So we want to thank you guys for coming out tonight. We've had a long day, but it's been a beautiful one. All of your energies played a part of that. We could not be thankful enough. Kalina's back trying to get everything ready because we got to get out of here in 1 hour. Feel free to hang out in the lobby for a little bit, but we will have to be out of the building in about a half hour or so. So thank you guys. Thank you. We love you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's such a great day. Thanks for creating it.